Hi, folks. Eric Troutman. Happy to be talking with you on behalf of LeadGen Insider. So some really nice quick updates for you. Actually, it's kind of bad news, to be honest with you. But hey, it's spooky season. Why not, right? We know Quote Wizard, right, in a world of hurt after their case was certified against them under the TCPA. They're looking at up to $450 million in damages. Really, the claims arise out of a bad lead that they purchased from a third party, and that actually provider had purchased that lead from another party who was allegedly actually a Bosnian pirated website. That's how this whole case got started. But now, essentially, every one of actually, I think it's hundreds of thousands of leads that Quote Wizard purchased from different sources that didn't have Quote Wizard's name on the form are now at issue. In this case, like I said, $450 million at issue for Quote Wizard. This is a really big issue, of course. But strangely, that's actually not the worst news impacting LeadGen right now. We know about the DMS bankruptcy, but I'm actually alluding to LowerMyBills.com. Guys, this is a very commonly used form. Of course, it's like the #1 lead provider for Rocket Mortgage. And LowerMyBills.com, their entire form was found to not provide reasonably conspicuous notice to a consumer by a federal court this month. That is crazy. That means that not only can the arbitration provisions not be enforced, the consent provisions also are not likely enforceable. That is a massive, massive loss for LowerMyBills.com. And anyone that has bought a lead from LowerMyBills over the last 4 years, you guys are now in harm's way. But there's lessons that should be taken from this, right? It's not just, oh no, LowerMyBills is no longer enforceable. Ask yourself why, right? Look at the format of the LowerMyBills.com website. This is something that I've talked to LeadsCon attendees before on stage. I've actually put LowerMyBills.com up on the presentation and walked people through the flow. The language was too small. It was too far below the button. It was too difficult for the consumer to navigate. And the entire flow of the website looks like a dark pattern because they're being told, for instance, that you're 90% done with the form or 50% done with the form, when actually just factually that's not true. And at the end of the day, when you click that button, you don't get the quotes that you're being promised. You just get a paywall and you get some phone calls, right? So we put all this together and the court refused to enforce that form. This is a huge loss for LowerMyBills.com, for Rocket Mortgage, and really for anyone out there that's buying leads that kind of look like this. But remember, this is still today under the current, call it more lenient lead gen ecosystem. On January 26, 2025, of course, the leniency goes away, and now you have to comply with the FCC's new heightened one-to-one rules, right? They've modified the definition of express written consent right there in 45 CFR 64-1200 F9. I know you guys read that all the time. That is the definition of express written consent. Now you have to comply with what's called the Troutman-Amin 15. Look it up on TCPAworld.com. Make sure that you see, because the vendors, the sellers, the people who are buying those leads, the brands, have to be specifically identified on that form. One-to-one, the consumer has to click and accept that one individual is going to call or have calls made on their behalf, that one entity or multiple entities, but the consumer has to select each entity separately. This is a really big deal. If you haven't heard about it, you need to Google Troutman-Amin 15. We're always here for you at Troutman-Amin and at TCPAworld.com. Love you, LeadGen Insider. We'll talk soon.